Hello adventurers, I'm Gray and welcome to another Hytale blog update. Now this one is a pretty short one, pretty simple, and it's about the wildlife of Zone 1, which if you recall, it's the foresty sort of nature zone, similar to the basic survival game you'd play like Minecraft where you'd spawn in a forest and just explore and have some wildlife. So it briefly goes into all the creatures and I'm just going to comment on how they look and see if there's anything else hidden I can point out. So let's just go ahead and get started. So each zone in Hytale's adventure mode features its own unique elements including geology, plants, NPCs, monsters, and animal life. In this post we're going to give you a closer look at some of the creatures in the forested wilds of Zone 1. So interestingly, I know they mentioned it before, but just keep in mind every zone is going to have their own creatures, their own rocks and geology, their own plants, and everything is going to be unique. So they're probably going to have entries just like this one in the future, but for the different zones. And we've only had 4 zones revealed to us too, so they're going to have to reveal some of the later zones in these block updates, which I'll be ready to give you all the intel on. Also, a little nice note here, arachnophobes. The final image depicts a spider. Stop scrolling when you see a pigeon. You know what, I could joke about it, but I think that's just a really appreciated thing, because there's a decently large number of people who are like severe arachnophobes. In fact, there's a YouTuber I watch who's pretty severe. Like, they would legitimately have to stop playing Skyrim when they encounter a spider, like one of those big spiders in Skyrim. So it's a big deal for a lot of people, so I'm glad they're doing that. Anyway, to start off we have a grizzly bear, which is highly territorial, just like real bears. They become defensive when approached, but won't attack unless you refuse to get out of their way, or directly provoke them. An angry bear will give chase to intruders, but won't pursue you beyond the bounds of its territory. I'm no bear biologist. However, I do know that bears don't actually want to attack you if they can avoid it. They don't purposefully try to hunt down people or do anything like that. And if they do hunt down people, then the bears have to be taken down. It's like law or something like that, I don't know. But generally, unless people are on purpose provoking them or getting in their territory or touching their cubs because they're very protective of them, bears won't attack people, so it makes sense. And here's a bear in hibernation, kind of. I guess it's just sleep here since it's not winter, clearly. They like to sleep and if wounded, and will try to flee and find somewhere to recuperate. Disturbing a sleeping bear isn't a great idea. They'll be pissed off, don't do it. Unless you know you can win, because this is an adventure game, they're probably going to drop some good loot if you can kill a bear. I'd assume they're quite strong. But bears are also nice, so you're gonna have to weigh the risk, the rewards, figure out what you want to do. Oh, you can see a little structure that someone built above the bear's den too. I guess it's kind of a lookout point. I wonder if bears are gonna hibernate in the winter. I'd guess they will. Actually, I don't even know if there will be seasons yet. We'll figure that out. There might not be. It might just be based on zones. Okay, so down here we have ambient life, starting out with frogs as sort of the first one they show. And look at how its like mouth sort of wiggles and its eyes are kind of blinking and moving around a little bit. Pupils aren't really moving right now, but the eyes move and the mouth croaks. It's a little nice, realistic touch. They're small creatures that provide the world of Orbis with a sense of life and interactivity. They don't pose a threat, but they help to make Zone 1's ecology livelier and more diverse. And speaking of making a more lively environment, here we have Mallard Ducks. Actually, are these mallards? I think they're Mallard Ducks. Here they just call them ducks, though. They're another type of ambient creature. These have behavioral and animation features to help bring the animals to life. So take a look at this right here, because I was looking at this post earlier, and these ducks, like, for some reason gave me so much emotion, and I was trying to figure out where it was exactly, because it kind of looks like they're always thinking about something, like they're a little bit worried too, and they're kind of looking at each other. And I think Hytale's doing a pretty good job at giving slight animations that give so much more life to these creatures. Because humans have things like micro expressions and things like that that make people seem more human, you know, that are really hard to animate. And this is definitely not on that level here. Also, it just froze for some reason. Come on. But they do have some nice head movements. Like, you see it suddenly jerks to the side to look at the other duck over there as it swims off. That duck is, like, feeding under the water. And also, the little, like, duck eyebrows. Like, you see them? Like, a little above the eyes, there's just those curves. I wouldn't think that ducks would have eyebrows, if you know what I mean. But it makes them have so much more emotion. Like, it's a little bit unrealistic, but at the same time gives more emotion, which I'm okay with that. That's really nice. Here we have birds, which is one of my favorite things, like minor things to add to a game, because it makes the game feel like it has so much more life to it. When you look up in the sky, say in Half-Life or something like that. You just see birds flying through. And it really gives you a sense that the world is real, that it exists, and that there are living creatures in it. This one's a little bit different though, Hytale's birds. Because most of the time when I see birds in games, it's just you look up in the sky and they're just off in the distance like a black shadow kind of soaring by. Or it's like Minecraft in that they're only in like one small area and you can find them but there's not too many. Hytale seems to have a lot of birds and they're kind of cartoony and they look kind of like they shouldn't be able to fly on those wings that they have, but at the same time they do, and it's just funny to watch them go about their day. But yeah, they said that they've done experimentation, they found that birds are good for providing a sense of a living world. Birds in flight, like these are sparrows here. So yeah, I assume there's going to be more types of birds. They create a welcome impression of life and movement. However, Chork sentries are easily distracted by passing birds and have been known to hurl spears at them. So like I would think, Chorks are kind of dumb, they're distracted by movement, and even birds can kind of mess with them, which is a nice little touch of their personality. And here's some more really brief examples. Like I said, this is a quick blog post. You kind of look at these, I believe, does it say elk? Oh, deer. These are deer. And I like how this female deer, oh no, this male deer, because bucks have the antlers, has sort of like flowers and plants growing on their antlers. Because I know there are real deer who have that type of thing going on, where they have plants in them. It's not that common though, I don't think. But it adds a more mystical fantasy feel to Hytale, so I'm okay with it. Go down here, we can see some evil rats. Probably not evil. Rats aren't really evil, I would say. They just happen to carry a lot of diseases and be bad for everything. Not on purpose, they just are. So that's why we hate them. But yeah, these look evil. Look at their red eyes. Here we have bats, which probably have more use than Minecraft's bats. As in, they have a use. But another thing that's in this picture here are these pink crystals. And I'm not sure what they are. They kind of remind me of glowstone, except it's not like a hell region or anything, it's just a cave. These might just be their own unique type of glowing crystals, and I'm curious if we're going to use them to make a light source, such as lamps, things like that. Because if they're naturally glowing, that would be a good light source. Here we have another type of bird. Like I said, there's going to be many, and we've seen this one before, except this time it's a new environment. We have these pigeons. And the pigeon has a pretty detailed beak, like look at it. It has quite a bit of detail. I assume the eyes are going to move too and stuff. And there's some nice mountains and clouds in the background. And those clouds look very watercolory, like they were painted, which is nice. And finally, here's the one for arachnophobes. Look away if you're an arachnophobe. I might be giving this warning a bit late, but I already said it earlier on in the video. So here's a giant spider capable of climbing surfaces in the pursuit of prey. Lovely, they say. And in this video, the short GIF, I don't care how you pronounce it, there's actually birds flying around in the background. You can kind of see them. So they're showing how they provide a sense of atmosphere going on. I am wondering if there will be birds really high up in the sky like in other games though, because that would also be a nice effect. But my bet is it's probably just going to be birds that you can actually see and interact with rather than just background material. And this spider seems to be quite creepy, I have to say. Look, the eyes are like blinking in like different orders and they move their legs individually. It's like Minecraft spiders, but in a way creepier. But I have to hear the sound that they make, because a lot of the creepiness of Minecraft spiders come from that little sound that they make whenever they walk. So we'll see how it goes. Also, this looks like a weeping willow tree, but I believe you've already seen those, so that doesn't matter too much. So that's basically all here. They're going to talk more about wildlife in the future, from desert-dwelling critters to the inhabitants of the ocean, and they want you to get in touch on Twitter and Facebook to let them know what creatures you're most excited to encounter. All of them. Though, for me, it's mostly the NPCs. I'm interested in seeing how they react to the world, how they react to other creatures, and what lore goes into them. But yeah, that's basically all for this blog post. I think I went a little over 10 minutes, but that's alright. I'm working on an analysis of the Hytale trailer. I haven't looked up any other people's analyses of them. I probably should to get used as a reference, but I kind of want to figure some things out on my own, using the blog and the Wikipedia. It'll probably take me another week or so, though, so I'll see if I find time. I have a school test next week. It'll take up quite a bit of time to study for that. But I'll get it done. I promise. I'll do it. But tomorrow, probably look forward to another Deep Space Turtle Chase video. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed this blog post entry. I'll be sure to keep you updated in the future, and I hope to see you all on the next adventure.